Good morning. How are you today? I am here today. I wasn't here last week because I went down to Kentucky and had my time away with the Lord. So good. It was so good. But I'm back and ready today. So all week I've just really been thinking about my arc. I feel like I've got fuzzies on top of my head. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is as good as it gets, people. Okay. Um, so I feel like I titled this Noah and his Ark, and I put Ark in all caps for an acronym. I don't have an acronym for it yet, but I feel like I should. I feel like I should. Okay, so I've just been so consumed. I have totally revamped my law firm website, and I got it moved from the old original website that was all code in the background. It was so clumsy to make changes into my new Equip 360, and it's so easy. If I have one little thing I want to change, I just go in there and change it, and it's good. Oh my goodness. So I'm just so thrilled with it. I'm so thrilled with it. And the day I sat down to really go through each of the pages and what I offer, God was just giving me download after download after download. So now, the structure is there. So now I'm going page by page and getting the things he told me to put in place in place. Okay. So this is really important because God does give us downloads, right? And Noah is a prime example of that. So I didn't really have anything prepared for today, but I really want to dive into this Noah and his ark concept and kind of point out. I am going to read. So this is Genesis 6, starting at, hmm, actually, I might just start at verse 1. Okay, but oh gosh, this is like quite a few chapters. I'll start at verse 9 and we'll just see how far we get. Okay, so Genesis chapter 6, verse 9, the title is God Warns Noah. Okay, these are the family records of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among his contemporaries. Noah walked with God. And Noah fathered three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I fathered three sons too, Evan, Justin, and Owen. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with wickedness. God saw how corrupt the earth was, for every creature had corrupted its way on the earth. Then God said to Noah, I have decided to put an end to every creature, for the earth is filled with wickedness because of them. Therefore, I am going to destroy them along with the earth. Ruh-roh. Okay. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it with pitch inside and outside. This is how you are to make it. The ark will be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. You are to make a roof, finishing the sides of the ark to within 18 inches of the roof. You are to put a door in the side of the ark. Make it with lower, middle, and upper decks. If that's not a download from the Lord, I don't know what is. So, first of all, it had never rained on the earth, right? It had never rained on the earth at this point in time. And God's telling him to build an ark. And he was probably like, what's an ark, Lord? Well, Noah, it's a boat. What's a boat? Well, it's a craft that you get in so that you can float along on the water when there's a ton of water. What's that all about? Right? I mean, you have to think that Noah was questioning the Lord because this was a foreign concept, right? Build a boat because it's going to flood. What's a flood? Okay, but he tells him the type of wood to make. He tells them to make rooms in it. He tells them to cover it with pitch inside and out. That's going to waterproof it, right? Why do we need waterproofing? Okay, this is how you're going to make it. It's going to be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. He told him exactly how to make it. Make a roof, finish the sides of the ark within 18 inches of the roof, put a door on the side, have 3 decks. He told him exactly how to make it, down to what kind of wood to use. Okay, now we're on verse 17. Understand that I am bringing a flood waters on the earth to destroy every creature under heaven with the breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark with your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives. Hi, Evan. Won't be too much longer of that. His house is, it's happening. It's happening. Okay. All right. But I will establish my covenant with you. Why? Why? Because back at verse 6, Noah was righteous and blameless and walked with God. So that's why he's establishing his covenant with him. And you will enter the ark with your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives. So he's allowing Noah to take everyone that's important to him into this ark. Okay. You are also to bring into the ark 2 of all the living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of everything, from the birds according to their kinds, from the livestock according to their kinds, and from animals that crawl on the ground according to their kinds, will come to you so that you can keep them alive. Ooh, that's good. Take with you every kind of food that is eaten. Gather it as food for you and for them. And Noah did this. He did everything that God had commanded. Ooh, I really like that. Okay, so back in verse 19, it says, you are also to bring into the ark 2 of all the living creatures. Okay. You're to you're to stand there at the ark and make sure the animals get on, right? Okay. Mm, that's so good. That's so good. Okay. So all the different animals, right? And then it says 2 of everything will come to you so that you can keep them alive. So God brought the animals to the ark, didn't he? It was only Noah's job to get the animals inside the ark. That's so good. That's so good. And then take every kind of food that is eaten. Gather it as food for you and for them. That is so good. Okay. So 2 of everything will come to you. So God brought all the animals to the ark. It was Noah's job to get them onto the ark. And then he had to take every kind of food. Okay, so God didn't say, um, make sure you have bananas. Take bananas. That's what everybody's going to eat. Everybody's going to eat bananas. He didn't say that. He said every kind of food, right? So the 4 food groups, right? Dairy, meat, fruits and vegetables, grain, all the food, right? So when I think about my business, I do have 2 businesses, right? And I do a lot of different stuff, right? So God's not, this is really good. I'm getting this download right now. God's not wanting me to just focus on one thing that I do. So I do estate planning, I do um, family law. I do different things in each of those, right? I do wills and trusts and ancillary documents and family law. I do divorce and custody and adoptions and guardianships. And then I have my purpose courses where I have my book, right? Here's my book. I have my book, Power After DV. and my workbook, and then I have my coaching program. Uh, there's lots of different things, right? Lots of different food, right? Because remember when I told you that when I first had this ARK revelation that the marketing system is my ARK, and the estate planning and the family law and the book and the coaching is all the food. So I'm to bring all that food onto the ARK to feed, like with my book, the women, right, that come into my program. And again, God will bring them. I just need to build the ARK and be there so that when God brings the women, I can help them get on the ARK. And then I have the food to feed them, right? So good. So good. um, but it also says, take with you every kind of food that is eaten, gather it as food for you and for them. So, this isn't just for the women that God is sending. I had massive, massive personal healing during the course of me writing that book. So, and then like my estate planning, like I've done my own estate plan. I have a trust set up, and so that my plays are taken care of when I'm gone, right? So all this food isn't just for the people God brings to me. It's for me too. Ah, so good. So good. All right. Let's see. We're only at 11 minutes. So, hmm. Okay. So, who thinks that only two of each animal came? Because I didn't grow up in the church, right? So didn't grow up in Sunday school learning about Noah and his ark. I didn't. Um, but I think there's a widespread belief that there were only two. But if we move on to chapter 7, entering the ark, then the Lord said to Noah, enter the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you alone are righteous before me in this generation. You are to take with you 7 pairs, a male and its female, of all the clean animals, and two of the animals that are not clean. So 7 pairs. So that's 14 of every kind of clean animal and two of every kind of unclean animal. Okay. So you are to take with you 7 pairs, a male and its female, of all the clean animals, and two of the animals that are not clean, a male and its female, and 7 pairs, male and female, of the birds of the sky, in order to keep offspring alive throughout the earth. 7 days from now, I will make it rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing I have made I will wipe off the face of the earth. And Noah did everything that the Lord commanded him. And that's how a lot of these, quite a few of these paragraphs end, right? Verse 22, and Noah did this. He did everything that God had commanded him. And then chapter 7, verse 5, and Noah did everything that the Lord commanded him. Okay, verse 6, Noah was 600 years old when the flood came, and water covered the earth. So Noah, his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives entered the ark because of the floodwaters. From the animals that are clean, and from the animals that are not clean, and from the birds and every creature that crawls on the ground, two of each, male and female, came to Noah and entered the ark, just as God had commanded him. 7 days later, the floodwaters came on the earth. Hmm. So good, so good, so good, so good, so good, so good. Okay, so here on January 4th um, of this year, um, in my journaling Bible. I'm reading out of my journaling Bible. I said, Dear God, I thank you for the story of Noah. I thank you that you helped me build my biz step by step, and that you will bring the women to me that you want to use me to rescue. Thank you. Mm, so good. So good. Okay, so let's talk about social media just a teensy bit. Still working on getting all that figured out. Um, anyway, so for the month of July, I'm the business of the month at the bank, right? So I took some pictures of the table and I'm doing a drawing. So that's kind of filled up all of July. So my plan for August is to kind of have a massive new website rollout and talk about all the different things that God's given me. So I'm so excited about that. Um, yeah, I just really, the story about Noah really, really, really touches me. And wanted to share that today because to give you encouragement that when we walk with God, right? He he comes into covenant with us. He shows us what he wants us to do. He even tells us step by step how to do it. So if you have something on your heart that you want to do and you really, really, really believe it's from the Lord, seek him first, right? Seek him first and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. I love that. I love that. Okay, so the big project I was working on yesterday is getting my Happy Kids program um, transitioned over into Equip 360. So, my Happy Kids program is for my estate planning. And, you know, estate planning attorneys are a dime a dozen, right? And then there are very few attorneys that do estate planning that actually specialize in estate planning. Usually it's a one off, you need a will, yeah, I'll create a will for you kind of thing. That's not really their focus, right? For me, it is my focus. And then one of my primary focuses, estate planning, family law. Um, and a lot of people think estate planning is for, if you're really rich or if you're really old, right? But it's so vitally important that, if we have young kids at home, that we are properly planning in case something happens to us, because then what happens to your kids? Oh my gosh, they can end up in the foster care system if you don't plan correctly. So it's extremely important. So my target market is families with young children. Um, and so this Happy Kids course, Happy Kids, guess what? It's an acronym. It's an acronym for Human Asset Protection Plan and Your Kids Individual Development Strategy. So God gave me that years ago. And so he gave me an entire program um, to create a course. I had always offered the course free, but I'm actually going to charge now. God's like, you need to be charging for this. So I'm going to charge $97. So what you get is a bunch of videos. There's probably about a dozen videos on how to, first I have a whole video on the top 10 mistakes parents make when naming guardians. Uh, there's that PDF, and then I do a video to break that down. I talk about parenting priorities. I talk about beyond the financial assets, right? Because we have human, spiritual, and intellectual assets too that we need to plan for. And then I give some instructions for different family dynamics. And then we really dive into how to properly name short term guardians, long term guardians, and exclusion of guardians. And then there's a bunch of sample worksheets and brainstorming sheets. So it's packed full of goodies. On my website, the Lord said, charge $97. But then if somebody, takes my program and then they come and do estate planning with me, um, because the original concept was to do the Happy Kids program for $500 and do all the different documents in it. But now, if people pay the $97, then I will do their separate guardian nomination sheets and prepare their Happy Kids wallet cards for free because they paid for the course. And then there's no $500 extra charge. It's just that's what they get. Okay. So it's so cool. So I'm working on that. After I'm done with this, I need to record an introduction and a conclusion, just two little short videos that I'm going to include in there. And then I can't figure out to get my cart hooked up. I've got the course, I've got the sales funnel, I've got the product, and I cannot figure out how to attach it all and make it work. Cannot. So that may not happen until office hours on Thursday. So it's probably not going to be till next weekend until I actually get that up and running. But it is well on its way. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Yeah, I like these to run about 20-25 minutes tops. I like that. Okay, so be encouraged. If God is telling you to do something, He's going to equip you and be with you and help you every step of the way to make it happen. All right, be blessed and have a fabulous week. And I am looking at my screen. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm like, I have no idea how to end this video. All right, you guys be blessed. Have a great